In this video, we're going to look at the slope. Slope is used to describe the steepness of lines. In real life, we have a concept which is called grade. So when you drive on highway, and they may tell us what the grade is, say this is maybe 9%. What it means is we can change this. If the grade is 5%, it's the same as saying the slope is 0.09. 9% can be converted to a decimal, 0.09. So usually for slope we don't use percent to describe it, but in real life when we talk about grade we use percentage. And so what does this mean? We know that 0.09 or 9% also means 9 divided by 100. So that means for every 100 horizontal distance, so 100 miles horizontal distance, vertically, the vertical distance is 9 miles. So when you drive every horizontal distance of 100 miles, you will rise 9 miles. And so let's see how we define slope. Similar to grade, and we take the vertical distance. So this is our vertical distance, how much we rise, or you can call it rise. Vertical distance, which is the same as rise, divided by the horizontal distance, which is also called run. So the slope is defined as, just like grade, the vertical distance, like in this case 9, divided by the horizontal distance 100, or rise over run. So slope, it's defined as rise over run. As you can see, if you have a higher rise, let's say if you raise, if for every horizontal distance of 100, you rise, let's say 11, and then when you divide 11 by 100, rise over run will be 11 over 100, and that gives you 11% grade, which means it's steeper than the previous one. So the bigger the number is, the steeper the highway is. So it makes sense to define slope this way, rise over run. As we said, rise is like the vertical distance, and run is horizontal distance. So next we're going to try to figure out the formula for the horizontal distance and vertical distance, which we have already talked about when we were learning the distance formula, two-dimensional distance formula. So let's draw a coordinate system, xy, x-axis, and y-axis. And notice that let's maybe move this highway here somewhere. Use a different color. Suppose we have a highway that goes like this, and so in order to find the distance, the slope, we need to find the rise and run. So we can randomly pick 2 points, 2 positions. Say we start from here and drive up to there, and in these two spots, and we can, let's say this is 2, 1, and this one has the coordinates 3 and 4. So which means this number right here is 2, and that number there is 3. Again, looks like my line is not perfectly proportionally scaled. And this y coordinate is 1, and that y coordinate is 4. So to find the slope, as we mentioned, we need to find the rise over run. So let's see, when we go from this point to that point, what is the rise? So the rise will be, let's draw a horizontal line so we can see. So the rise will be from here to here. As you can see, this line segment is the same as this line segment. It has the same length as that line segment, so which is 4 minus 1. So that line segment right here is 4 minus 1 equals 3. And this, so that's our rise in this case, and run, or you can call it vertical distance. And run is this line segment. It has the same length as this line segment right here, which is 3 minus 2. From one-dimensional distance formula, we take the bigger one, subtract the smaller one. So run here equals 3 minus 2, which equals 1. So to find the slope, rise over run, that is going to be equal to rise 3 over run 1, which is 3. But of course, if you convert this to grade, it's going to be like 300% and grade. But usually in real life, we don't have steep highway like that. So in general, we want a general formula. So in general, we can call the first point x, y. Again, the first number is always x, second number is always y. Because we have 2 points, that's called the first pair x1, y1, second pair x2, y2. So now this 4 corresponds to y2. That's our y2. And this 1 is our y1. And similarly, this is our x1, 2 is our x1, and 3 is our x2. And the formulas in general, if you see how we got rise, it's 4 minus 1. In this case, it's y2 minus y1. So rise will be y2 minus y1 in general. Similarly, run will be 3. It was 3 minus 2, but 3 is x2 minus x1. So the formula slope will be rise y2 minus y1 over run x2 minus x1. So this is the formula for slope. If you when we try to remember this formula, we can either remember rise over run, and the rise means vertical rise. It's like a vertical distance, and we know the vertical line is called y-axis. So there is a change. The rise is like the change of y values. So how do you find out the change of y value? Of course, change means difference. So change of y's, and so we do y2 minus. And the run is the horizontal distance, the change of horizontal line, which is called the x-axis. So the change of x. So when we do change of x values, we do x2 minus x1. So it's change of y over change of x. So that's the formula. Now we can look at an example. So if I want to find the slope, the example, find the slope of the line through 3, 4, and a -1, -2. So we use the formula, the change of y over change of x. So y2 minus y1 is the change of y, x2 minus x1 is the change of x. So let's first mark them down. First number is x, second number is y. First number is x, second number is y. For the first pair, we use the subscript 1. Second, we use 2. So now we can use the slope formula. By the way, the slope, usually we use the letter M to denote it. Sometimes we also use the letter K. These two are the commonly used ones. And the formula says the change of y, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So now let's plug in numbers. y2 is -2. y1 is 4. x2 is -1. x1 is 3. Now we simplify this. -6, 4, which is equal to 3 over 2. Negative divided by negative is positive, and 6 over 4 can be reduced to 3 over 2. And we can also sketch the graph for this if we need a graph, because we already are given 2 points. One of them is 3, 4. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other is -2, -1, -2. So that's 3, 4, -1, -2. Through these 2 points, we can join a line. We can join them and to get a straight line. And this line has a slope equal to 3/2. Now let's look at another example. So we still found the slope of the line through these 2 points. Here we can do 0, -1, and 2, 0. Now we still apply the formula m equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So we're going to mark this as x1, y1, x2, y2, and plug the numbers into the formula. Y2 is 0 minus y1 is -1. So again, this first minus comes from the formula, and the second minus comes from the number negative. X2 is 2 minus x1, 0. We simplify this. We do keep, change, change. Got the answer 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. So let's sketch our graph here. First point is 0, -1. When x equals 0, y is equal to -1. So that's the first point. Second point is 2, 0. When x equals 2, y equals 0. And remember, these two are called y-intercept, x-intercept. Because after we join these 2 points, we get a line which cuts x-axis at 2, 0, and the y-axis at 0, -1. So this is called x-intercept and y-intercept. These two are very special points on the line. So the line has so many points, but these two are special ones. So that's how we found the slope of given 2 points, and to find the slope of a line.